We've just made thousands of videos that have done over 30 million views. So I became like a scientist of just how do I get them to watch stuff that they don't even want to watch. Suspense is the difference between good creators and the best creators in the world. There is a giant difference in what people say they want to watch versus what they'll actually pay attention to. Truth number one, you, contrary to what you may think, do not have a views problem. You have a retention problem. Most people, when they're like, I need to get my views up, I'm stuck at 1,000 views, or I'm stuck at 500,000 views, like whatever you're stuck at right now, whatever this current plateau is, we're diagnosing a symptom. Views are the symptom, right? The issue is retention. It's once they discover you, they don't care about you. You're not being interesting, right? You have to hook them and compel them, because if the algorithm sends Brittany's video to everybody in this room and we all swipe within 10 seconds, what did that just tell the algorithm about Brittany's content? It sucks. It wasn't very good. It didn't hold anybody's attention, right? Intention equals retention. That's why our hook, I'm gonna say it again, non-negotiably has to have two things: an emotion, and it's gotta press on their sensibilities a little bit, right? It's gotta make people care about things they didn't even know they cared about. It has to have a curiosity gap. That's why. Because we want people to watch longer than 10 seconds. So I have a challenge for every single one of you today, which is this. Your goal from this day forward, before you ever make another video, is to have 90% retention on your first 6 seconds. Why? Because if you can get 90% retention on your first 6 seconds, you are going to be in the top 1% of content being served up to the algorithm. Top 1%. That's pretty freaking great. And that is not easy to do, right? But it's like my mom told me in high school. She goes, I'm gonna set the bar here, so when you fall, you will only fall here. So if you get 82% retention on your video, maybe you're in the top 5-6%, all right? And that's gonna serve you very, very well if you do it consistently. So what this means is, before you design any next video, storyboard it out, script it out, and be a student of your own craft. Say, here's my opening line. Would everybody who comes across this in the feed stop? Would they care? Are you changing your location, your props, your wardrobe, and casting? Did you create an emotion? Are you going through this little punch list that I'm gonna give you, right? And I want you to just make sure for your first 6 seconds, pretty much everybody that you can think of would stop and watch. That's gonna take creating some novelty, right? So this is the goal. Look at every line in your script, every visual that you're accompanying it with, and say, would they stop? Why do they care? Why do they care? Why do they care? Why do they care? Do they care? And ask other people, would you stop? More often than not, it's probably no. You know, so if you consciously think about it and use the tools that we're gonna give you in this ebook, then you're gonna have a much better shot. So this is the goal. How are we gonna get there? We have two ways that we'll teach you. One being the combo method, which is essentially combining two things that don't normally go together. As an entertainer, you'll see that with me, where I take like a rack of ribs and put it on the engine of a car. You're like, I'll put tequila in the back of a coffee pot to make batch margaritas, of course. But I'll do absurdist things like that, and you don't have to do that, but people will do it in your podcast clips or talking head stuff. Say you are pinning different ideologies together. You're saying some shocking statement. You'll see that a lot. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, say it. And then go into why you think about that, right? But we're gonna use the combo method to pin two different things together that don't normally belong. And we're gonna use Missy Elliott. I've never made it through a speech, by the way, without talking about Missy Elliott, and I'm not gonna start today. Missy Elliott, how's she gonna help us get more attention on our videos? Because, in the great words of Missy, we're gonna put the thing down, flip it, and reverse it, okay? We're gonna flip it and reverse it. We are going to design every single video in reverse. Why? If you're gonna pitch me a video at Viralish, you're gonna pitch me the opening shot. You're not gonna say, I'm gonna make a video about how to save 50% on taxes. You're not gonna say, I'm gonna make a video about how my amazing 3-ingredient brownie recipe. Because you're describing the payoff. You're describing the end of the video. Even on great videos, most people aren't gonna get there. They're not. So why are you describing the end when most people aren't even gonna see that? At Viralish, you would pitch me the first 3 seconds. You would describe it to me. You would say, I'm gonna crack eggs into a bowl. Okay, where? In the kitchen? Boring. I've seen it. It's not novel. If you say, okay, I'm in the aisle at Target and I take eggs out of the fridge and I crack them into a jar of Quaker Oats. Okay, what's the next 3 seconds? I take peanut butter and I get peanut butter and I if you're absurdist like me, you would scoop it with your hand and you would put that in that Quaker Oats too, or a spoon. You're just taking stuff off the counter, off the shelf, and putting it into the jar of Quaker Oats right there. In the aisle at Target, yes. Interesting first 6 seconds, kind of scary. I feel something. I feel like you're gonna get arrested. Did you pay for that? Like, I have an emotion and there's a curiosity gap. What the hell are you doing? And then I would say, all right, I'm still watching. What's the next 3 seconds? We're designing our videos in reverse because that mimics the viewer's experience. The viewer watches your first 3 seconds, then your next 3 seconds, then your next 3 seconds, right? So I want you to design your videos the same way. I don't care what you end up doing. You gotta hold them. You gotta hold them. So then at the end, you have an amazing 3-ingredient brownie recipe, but you change your location. You did it in the aisle at Target because you're a crazy person. And maybe we raise the stakes by having an employee 15 feet back watching you do this whole thing. And then they get on their radio and they're like, we got somebody coming on. Now, that's a retention anchor, right? I'm gonna keep watching you mess around with the Quaker Oats, doing whatever you're doing, because I know now security's on the way. That's a retention anchor, right? And that raises the stakes. So same 3-ingredient brownie recipe, just get out of the kitchen. See, same thing. We're just redesigning it in a way that makes people care. If you don't wanna go that absurdist, great, let's get in the car. Let's get in the car and have a bunch of raw chicken, and let's have a sheet pan in your car. Why? Because you had it. And put chicken on the thing, and maybe it's already cooked. Just make your recipe right there in the car because I've never seen that before. Combo method. Why do you have a baking sheet in the car? What are you doing, right? And now you're showing me and not just telling me that this is a really quick recipe that anybody can make in 15 minutes. Don't make it in your kitchen, make it in the car. Show me how easy it is to make on your lunch break. Show me, don't just tell me. Demonstrate it, okay? Design your videos in reverse. Truth number 2, who's ready? Say yeah. Yeah. All right. Talk directly to your core avatar if you wanna play small. Ooh. Nobody believes me right now. You know you need to be using social media. That's not the conversation. The conversation is that this is a non-negotiable. So if you're going to do it, I just want to show you how to do it better. And I am begging you to not play small. Now is not the time. I want you to go top of funnel as often as you can. There's a bunch of ways that people say this, right? But we say top of funnel, which is your widely relatable content. This is where you're gonna grow. People are gonna see you, right? Because you're shown things from people you don't follow all the time. I'm not a parent yet, but I get shown parenting videos, like viral style parenting videos and hacks all the time because somebody in a small parenting niche selling diapers went wide. Now, when that comes in my feed because they did, I share it to my friends who are parents. If you are stuck in 200, 400, 20,000 view jail, I would say go 50% top of funnel, 50% go wider, heat up your page, 50% top of funnel. Then middle of the funnel is where you earn the trust. This is where you're doing testimonials, you're showing your product, and you're making really helpful tutorials. Most of you are living in middle of the funnel, just talking to your avatar all the time, all the time. So do middle of the funnel, but I'd say 25%. And then I'd say 25% bottom of the funnel, which is your conversion type stuff. That's just where you're really in the niche, right? And you need that too. But right now, I would say break through, go wide, test, spaghetti method your little heart out, right? Try everything that you've been wanting to try and go wider, go bigger. And let me just show you examples, okay? This was a video that we did with Mike Chandler. Anybody UFC fans? Yeah. Fights? Cool stuff. So Mike Chandler's a UFC fighter, and First Form is an amazing energy drink supplement company. They're crushing it. Andy Frisella, 75 Hard. This is his company, First Form. So they're a client of ours, and we guarantee them X amount of top of funnel content because they're stuck in the fitness niche. Everybody in fitness knows who they are, but they were struggling to break out of that echo chamber, right? And so this is one of the posts that we designed, where this is my baby brother, and that's me, and that's Mike's head poking around the corner as an anchor, because you can kind of know what's coming. So the video goes like this, very top of funnel, very silly. I'm like fake punching my brother, and he's like, well, is that all you got? And I take the hat and I put it over his head. Mike comes around the corner and just rocks my baby brother. So satisfying. And he rocks Jake into the TV like 5 times. We had the hits choreographed, And he breaks the TV with his head. Mike goes back around the corner, and Jake's like, what the heck? And that video, we released it on the morning of Mike's UFC announcement. So when we posted it, and it did 32 million views in 24 hours. Now it's well over 62 million. Mike knows the more attention he gets, the more money he gets in the ring. The more people will pay to see him fight, the more attention he has. For First Form, one, we're both wearing First Form hats. He's wearing a First Form shirt, but we went and pinned a bunch of top comments. We're like, wow, that protein powder he's on, that First Form's really doing him right. And we just made the comment section a conversation about First Form and the supplements Mike takes, even though it's a silly bit, right? And this organically got picked up by Sports Illustrated. It was trending on Reddit. It was still going everywhere because it was just a fun, silly bit. But do you know how much they would have to pay for that? 62 million views through something like paid? And the Sports Illustrated pickup and all of this coming around being culturally relevant, they would have to pay so much money for that. What took us 30 minutes to make, it was free, except for I had to buy a flat screen. Right? And we did this video 3 times, you guys. And another secret, if the hits didn't go accordingly and my brother's head did not break the TV, which we needed it to raise the stakes, otherwise he's just getting hit, we needed it to bust the flat screen, we had a little pin ready in the back of my brother's hat to throw it back to make sure that TV broke. And if it hadn't come off the wall yet, on Mike's 4th punch, Jake was gonna drop down and then come up with his shoulder and take that TV off the wall. Thankfully, Mike hit him hard enough, we didn't have to do any of that. It broke immediately. But that is how much we were able to get them this organic traction and turn a conversation about the brand into First Form. Now a lot more people know that First Form exists, and it's the supplement company behind Mike Chandler. This is another one. This is a buddy of ours who does life hacks. He was stuck around 20 to 40,000 views on average, and he has these really great life hacks that help parents, that help people learn how to do things faster and better. We told him exactly what to do with this video. This is probably his 3rd week in the community, and we were like, hey, do this, and put Grandpa taught me this, because who doesn't love to learn from a grandpa? Vicarious casting. Grandpa wasn't there. And it's how to tie a tie, you guys. Is literally just how to tie a tie. We found this how to tie a tie in a creative way on Reddit. We were like, hey, do this. This is a 12-second video. Took him no time to make, 119 million views, and gained him 42,000 followers. Single video. Took him no time to make. Why? Top of funnel. Now a lot more people watch Eric's life hack videos. And this is not an anomaly, you guys. We see stats like this every single week. And the data has shown us this consistently for the last 5 years. And hear me loud and clear when I say that that type of growth is not possible when you're talking to your core avatar about your thing all of the time. This is a long-term game. We're brand building, baby. So go top of funnel, earn the opportunity to sell them something. But the reason I'm saying don't talk to your core avatar all the time is so that they can know that you exist, because somebody is creating more and they're beating you to the punch. And if they're not now, they will be. Because there are 2 different types of relevance. There's cultural relevance and there's contextual relevance. And most of you are trying to be contextually relevant, right? You're trying to be the hair salon they think of when they go to Savannah, Georgia. You're trying to be the architect. You're trying to be the paid media agency, right? You're trying to be contextually relevant and win that space. But there's cultural relevance too. And that one is going to make you contextually relevant by default with no extra work. Gary Vee, culturally relevant, and now he could literally talk about a towel and you would know about it. Look at some of these examples. Hot Ones. They sell buffalo sauce, right? They created a simple, repeatable, scalable format. We call that our SRS. Simple, repeatable, scalable show where they eat progressively hotter buffalo wings as they answer harder and harder questions. And so you know the sauce. Like, you're like, ooh, by the time he gets to blazing butt, the question's gonna be fire, and so is his butt. You know? And they just sold for $86.5 million, and they sell buffalo sauce. They went bigger. They created a format that entertained people, and they sold buffalo sauce by default. This is Dude Wipes. They sell butt wipes. Butt wipes. Butt wipes. But they created a branded content series where they made a makeshift UFC ring, and they take really breakable things, sometimes toilets, sometimes it's like bottle of Jack Daniels, bottle of Tito's, let's see which one's gonna win the fight tonight, and they have narrators voicing over like it is UFC, and they swing them, and you just wait to see what shatters first. And that guy wins the fight. And then they'll do tight shots where they're like wiping off the fighters with Dude Wipes. And it's so fun and entertaining. Hundreds of millions of views watching people break stuff, all centered around impressions for Dude Wipes. And now it works. I buy Dude Wipes now. When I think of wipes, I buy dude wipes. I put them on my counter. They're not just for butts, I think. I hope. I might have just outed myself. But I buy dude wipes. They incepted me because now just when I think of wipes, now you will too, you think of dude wipes, right? And they created this series, free advertising, minus the bottles of Tito's that they break, or the toilets they get from the junkyard, right? Branded content series. Bigger. Jefferson Fisher. How many of you guys know Jefferson? He is a trial lawyer from Texas. And he sits in his car, and I put the wrong slide up here, but I wanted to show you what he does. He doesn't talk about law. He doesn't talk about his law firm. That's not gonna get him 6 million followers on Instagram alone in the last year and a half. No, he's teaching people how to have better conversations. If you haven't seen Jefferson, take a picture of that and look him up later. He sits in his car and he says, here's what to say if somebody's gaslighting you. Next time your wife blames you for this thing, here's the 3 things I want you to say. He teaches people how to have a better conversation. He's talking about the macro of what he's learned from his industry. He's making himself more relatable. He's talking to what is real for everybody, and they're learning something, but they're being entertained, right? And his law firm is doing just fine. Just fine. He just had a New York Times best-selling book, right? Not talking about his law firm in Texas, talking about the bigger thing that law does as a trial lawyer, teaching people how to communicate better and more effectively, okay? Bigger. I want you to know the difference between marketing and sales. We are talking about marketing, free marketing, and free ways to test it with tools like trial reels, or even if you run Facebook dark posts, $5 on a version, right? Your top of funnel content is building value for you in places that you don't even see. Dude Wipes is not going and saying, well, that viral video didn't convert to more sales for our wipes. How do you know that? How do you know that? You don't. This is a long-term game. We're brand building, and this is the best way to do it. I'm gonna show you an example. This is a video we did for First Form, and this doesn't have to be difficult, you guys. We've never, ever, ever shot a viral video on anything other than an iPhone or a Ring camera. But this video probably has done over 40 million views now. And no, we can't track direct attribution, but there's a reason why First Form has been with us now for over a year and a half. And it's because we make content like this and we get the opportunity to continue testing things.
Oh no, come on, First Form? Oh, yes! Oh, shoot, let me take this picture. What? Yo, they got the level 1 though. Oh, let's go beef sticks. Let me take a second one for safety. Oh, let's go, the tropical lime. I don't think they know. Where's the camera? Oh, yo, y'all gotta see this. Look at this! Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not even saying Tommy's the best actor in the world. Right now that you know it's staged, you look at it a little bit differently, but if that just came across your feed on a big meme page, you may or may not believe it. Doesn't really matter though. Doesn't really matter. The whole comment section was about First Form. 60 million people. It took us 30 minutes to give something, and we gave things to Amazon drivers all day. We left that up all week, right? But we did have him as an actor putting the product out there, creating a feel-good moment, right? Earned media. We don't know if that converted, but next time somebody's in a Walmart and they see First Form, they're like, oh, I've seen this before, where they may have not heard of it otherwise, right? So what I'm begging you to think about is meeting people where they're at on these platforms. I want you to entertain the masses because that's what they're on these platforms for. And I want you to educate the interested. Once they discover you, click back into your profile, see everything else that you have to offer, your middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel. And then we sell to the committed, right? If you just go out there trying to sell all the time, what if you had a friend that did that? You would not be friends with that person anymore, right? We don't like that person. So don't be that person online. This is where people are going to hang out. We want to attract them. Then you resonate, right? And then you bring them back into your world. We don't want to be so short-sighted. So it is one thing. I feel like I can read your minds right now. You're like, cool, Ad. Yeah, we get it. We're going to go a little bit wider. Hopefully I've convinced you of that and the importance right now, especially with the introduction of AI. But how's it going to make you more money, right? Where's the money coming from? Let me show you. This is Brian. Brian is a business coach, right? He makes about $6 million a year. He is in a niche, which is business coach for fitness trainers. He teaches fitness trainers how to grow their business online. Pretty niche, right? Maybe applies to some people, but not most. He has a solid sales system. He's selling in the DMs. He has a sales team. He's got a good funnel, right? His system is tight. And he was running some paid ads, but he already understood the power of organic. 95% of his $6 million a year is coming through organic. And he was just ready to scale. He was plateaued at $6 million a year, but he knew he wanted to be bigger, and he knew he could. Brian was just doing talking head videos, just yelling aggressively at the camera as a coach. He's one of those coaches, just like, your content sucks balls, and like, he's very aggressive. And if you don't receive that stuff well, you're like, I don't like Brian, swipe on Brian, right? So he was doing well, but he just had one dimension to him. Brian is a very dynamic person, as all of us are, but your content maybe isn't showing all these different sides of yourself. You're just doing one thing. And when I come across your post, I'm like, it's gonna be the same as the last thing. You're just talking to camera, talking head all the time, right? And I feel like I've heard it before. You're not growing, you're not iterating anything new. So with Brian, he has an amazing, beautiful relationship with his wife. Enviable, like they're the cutest, most adorable couple. He's hilarious, and you would not know that at all. He's just yelling at the camera aggressively all the time. So all I wanted to do with Brian was tweak his top of funnel and convince him what I'm trying to convince you guys of right now. Go wider, go bigger, show these other sides to yourself. All we did was feed him top of funnel ideas and coach him on how to execute them better. The results, doubled his following in 6 months, and he had his first $1 million month while we were together, and now he's at $1 million every single month since, because more people know who he is. His funnels were tight. He just wasn't taking advantage of free marketing. And he wasn't doing paid ads either, but he already understood the power of just getting more people to know who he is and come back to his page, and then he had the opportunity to yell at them. Right? And then he had the opportunity to convert them once they were there. But when he was just being one-dimensional, doing the same thing, he's speaking to such a small section of what Instagram or TikTok had to offer, right? All we did was help him go wider, make him bigger, talk to more audiences than he was talking to currently. He's at $1 million a month. It's crazy. It's wild. Because Brian understood what most creators don't. And that it is not how good you are right now sitting in this chair. It is not how good your business is. It's not how good your systems are. It is 100% psychology of yourself. It's how good you want to be. How good do you want to be? Truth number 3, who's ready? Yeah. Authenticity will always have an audience. Authenticity will always have an audience. And I know that sounds crazy coming from somebody who stages viral videos for a living. I don't, and I'll own that. But there's a difference between making videos for mass entertainment just to grab and compel you and waste 3 minutes of your life. Very different than personal brand building, which is what we're talking about now, where we need trust, we need credibility. And most people are doing a weird combination of these things, right? What we're aiming at every single video in your brand. Your content is just an extension of your brand, right? What is your unique selling points as a business, as a brand? Why is somebody gonna buy your t-shirt over this guy's t-shirt? That is your why, right? And that needs everything that we're talking about, all of these content pillars and all the crap, that is all an extension of your business's USP. Yes, but it's void of your magnetism, of your ease, of like that thing about you and your business that shines. You end up making content that looks like everybody else, doing the same captions, the same talking head, so-and-so does it, so I'm just gonna replicate his success, and you look like everybody else, and it's inauthentic, and that's why nobody cares. Or you're making something that you really think is valuable, you're using your magic, but you're talking about your business and nobody cares. You think it's really funny and you're incorporating your business, but the market isn't telling you that it's valuable. What we're aiming at is in the middle, where it is your expertise, your market value, and you're finding a really unique, brandable way to communicate it, like those examples that I was showing you before. So, what is a chicken? I've got to tell you a brief, small part of my story. One meme page, big comedy page, I became friends with one of these guys, and he said, Ad, I think you're kind of funny, and I'll let you make videos for my page every single day. I need you to make a 60-second funny video and turn it in by 6 a.m. every day. I'd never made a video before in my life. And what I was doing was just looking on Vine at the time, and I was studying all these other people's videos that were being funny, and I was just blatantly copying exactly what they were doing. And everything was tanking. And it just came across so inauthentic because it was. And then one night, I filmed all day, I'm exhausted. I take the little SD card and I take it out and I put it in my computer, and all of the footage is corrupt. I'd been filming for the last 9 hours, and it's 1 a.m. and I have to turn something in at 6. Everything is gone. And I just break down and I start bawling, and I'm like, I go to my boyfriend at the time. We were very, very country. And he goes, Ad, it's gonna be okay. Why don't you just go get them chickens in the backyard and do something with them? They make you happy. I was like, that's a horrible idea. But it's the only one I have. Okay, so we went in the backyard, we got all my chickens, we got Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah Winfrey, Shakira, they look alike. We got Kim Kardashian, Bruce Henner. Funny story, we thought he was a hen, turned out to be a rooster. Bruce Henner, I got everybody, Chick Norris, and I take all my chickens and I put them in the bathroom, and we just improv this silly bit with my chickens where I'm in the bathroom and I'm curling Bruce Henner's hair, and boyfriend busts in and he goes, what are you doing? And he catches me in the act, and then I end up pulling back the shower curtain, and all my chickens are in there, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, why wouldn't you do this? This is the best. Very, very silly bit. And that was it. I turn it in, and they're like, what is this trash? And I'm like, I'm so sorry. All my footage was corrupt. I'm so sorry, it won't happen again. But I kind of thought it was funny. So I posted it on my own Facebook page. And it did 19 million views overnight and grew me 102,000 followers in 24 hours. And y'all, thank you. What I hate is that my back had to be against the wall for me to just be my damn self. For me to just be myself and stop being so unauthentic and just copying everybody else, and to use what was actually me to have my breakthrough. So the moral of the story is find your damn chickens. You guys, this has been such a pleasure. And here's that ebook. Don't forget, take a screenshot, download it as my gift to you, and implement everything. Even just one of these tactics could absolutely skyrocket your content. And bug me to death afterwards. Love you guys. Thank you.